Please welcome our next speaker, Emily Jones. Following her will be another performance by Laguna Creek High School's vocal ensemble.
Good afternoon. Dasrath Manji's wife was going to die. As a landless peasant farmer living in India, his options were zero. He had a long journey to make, but he also had a decision to make. Think fast, time was running out. His wife was dying, and since there were no options, it was about time to make some. It was about time to face the giant mountain that stood for centuries, blocking people from over 60 rural Indian villages from resources like schools, the hospital, and marketplaces. You see, the villagers had petitioned the government repetitively, please build a road connecting us to the resources that we so desperately need, but they were ignored every time. You see, it's important for you to understand that it was a suicide mission to go over or around the mountain. So to get to a doctor, Dashrath Manji had to go through it. There he stood at the foot of the giant mountain that stood in the way of the medical attention that his wife so desperately needed. Armed with only a rudimentary makeshift stone hammer and a thin, rusty chisel, his journey begins without a road or a pathway, only a destination. He spent more time slicing away at the base of the mountain than with his own wife, not because he was neglecting her, but because his dream for her recovery was bigger than the problem itself. Like Dashrath Manji, we too stood at the base of the mountain 4 years ago. That mountain, high school. And we were armed with only our middle school knowledge, our expectations of what high school could possibly be like, and our dreams of what lay beyond it. Our individual pathways started in the hallways of Laguna, and boy, were we in for a ride. Much of our time was spent trying to harness and understand the winding roads we were on, not realizing that the journey, although long, is just as important as the destination. I'm sure Dashrath Manji learned so much about himself while at the base of the mountain, chipping away alone. Hopefully, we learned that every time we say, yeah, I'll do that later, actually means that you'll be rushing through it the period before it's due, and you will regret it every time. And that alarm clocks are evil devices whose only purpose in life is to break up sleep-deprived teenagers from the love of their lives, their beds, of course. And that the reflective windows on campus are not mirrors, and yes, everyone in class can see you checking yourself out. And that sometimes the computers in the library and the career center suddenly fall into comas and become non-responsive, especially when you're rushing and you really need them. That there was always that one kid who took PE way too seriously and treated it like it was the Olympic Games. And our foreign exchange students are some of the most amazing people you'll ever meet. But it's not always fun, exciting, and exhilarating to be at the base of the mountain in the middle of your journey. It seems like every single time you're starting to make progress, you get a fistful of life coming at your face. No one knows this better than Dashrath, when one day he comes home after a long day at the mountain to watch his muse, his beloved wife, die in his arms because he couldn't get to a doctor in time. We've all been there sometime within these past 4 years, whether it be a disappointing grade, a tough competition, even a heart-sinking rejection letter from the university of our dreams. You could either curse the mountain, pack up, and go home, or you can do what Dashrath did, which was pick up the hammer and chisel and hack feverishly away at the mountain after burying his wife. Why? Because he says his sick wife was the initial spark that inspired him to do the impossible. But it was his dream of one day seeing thousands of people walking along the road that he had carved out of the mountain that kept him going. And although we faced disappointments and hardships in high school, it was our dream of one day walking across the stage, which we will do in a few minutes, that kept us going. Well, Dashrath, that skinny, impoverished man whom had lost everything, continued to hack away at the mountain until 22 years later, he had carved a 30-foot wide, 360-foot long road connecting him and thousands others from over 60 rural Indian villages to the rest of India. He had carved his own path to greatness. It didn't take a government, it took one man. And he is proof that the path to greatness is not a paved road. Sometimes it isn't even a road at all. It has thorns and pitfalls and a death toll and a harsh dirt road that can jar you right down to the teeth. In the words of Will Smith, greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I am willing to die for it. Of course, people made fun of Dashrath, saying that he was hacking away at the mountain as if he was possessed. No, but it's what he possessed. An idea and a vision that he was willing to die for because it was too deadly not to. The message? If your dreams don't scare you, you are not dreaming big enough. In a few minutes, we are going to be walking across this stage, completing the last lap of our journey. But there's a plot twist. There's another mountain right in front of you, whether it be college, the armed forces, a job, whatever it may be. But you'll be fine. Your hammer and chisel have taken you this far already. Look around you. You are all dressed exactly the same. We are all starting again at ground zero. But one day, your unique individual story will be heard just like Dashrath's. So class of 2014, this isn't goodbye. It's the beginning of Act 2. So let it be a great story. Thank you.